work it, make it, do it. Makes us harder, better, faster, stronger.
That don't kill me, can only make me stronger.
Hey everybody, the Atlanta Kid here coming with you for another vlog. I don't know if I'm actually going to have what coverage or footage I'll have for this, because I'm here in Boston. Oh, I'm in between Cape Cod and Boston with family. I don't know if they want to be on camera or not, but I'm in another room. But I'm here for another week of sports broadcasting camp. Didn't really film much last week, but yeah, I was at Atlanta sports broadcasting camp at Emory University last week, and this week I'll be in Boston up at Simmons College doing it, and I'm spending the weekend with family. We'll tour Fenway, we'll probably do a few things around the city, and hopefully I'll be able to bring you guys for the ride. So yeah. Colin, what are you doing? This is one of my younger cousins, if I didn't say it already. Colin, where are you going? Don't throw it. Oh, you want me to have it? Uh-oh. Is this for me? Is this for me, Colin? Is this? Colin gave me a toy. I'm at my family's house in Boston, so we're leaving on Monday morning, but you can see they have a mole problem in their garden, right? And basically, he has to keep filling in the hole every day, and this is 8:30 at night on Saturday, so I'll check in with you guys tomorrow if there's a hole. So, Mole, you're going down before I leave. Hey everybody, now it's Sunday, the last day we're with family before heading into Boston, and we're going down to see Plymouth and The Rock, right, Mom?
That's right, and it's your Nana's birthday today.
Yep.
Happy birthday, Nana.
Happy birthday. She's up in the front. And then we also have they usually have the Mayflower there that's like a fake one, but it's under renovation,
Replica.
so it won't be there.
Right.
So, yeah,
right.
But we'll also have some footage of Plymouth Rock, so I'll see you guys when we get there, so. Alright, so now we're pretty much coming up on Plymouth Rock. I'm surrounded by Patriot fans. I don't think I'm in Atlanta anymore. I'm clearly not. I just keep saying that joke. And this is kind of getting awkward that I'm surrounded by the team that beat us over and over and over again. But, yeah. We're seeing, I'll show you Plymouth Rock as we're coming on it right now. Turn this around. See, coming up on Plymouth Rock. Right over in this area. We're near the harbor in Plymouth. So, yeah. This is a pretty cool place. I came here once and I was like 2 or 3, but of course I don't remember it very well because I'm 13 now. But we'll see if I remember any stuff now. Because I kind of remember coming to Plymouth when I was little, but you know, I don't remember like the details that much. But we'll see what we do. So I'll catch you guys when we're at The Rock. Mom, where's The Rock clearly? I'm telling him about it, but I don't know. Yeah, once we spot it, I'll take the camera back out. Yeah. Once we
see where those columns are.
Yep.
That's where it is.
Once we get over to there, guys, where the columns are, over there, I'll take back out the camera. So here we are. We made it over there. So now we're right here.
I don't know. I thought he was down. I thought it was closer to
1620 when they were here. And you think it'd be something where you can walk on it or something, but there's a sign over there, right there on the other side. It just says all about The Rock. So here it is. Where it all started. Plymouth Rock. It's right here. They never moved it, so it's sitting by the water. So yeah, I'll show you. See you guys. Anything? Not much, but it's still pretty cool to see it. So yeah, that's Plymouth Rock. Now let's go over to the festival over here. Yeah, maybe we'll come back to this in a little while. Now we're here at the little Native American festival going on. I believe it's called Culture Survival or something about it. It's called the Culture. And they got a band playing dubstep. I don't know if you can hear me over there. And there's where we are. The Rock was just back there. So we just walked a little bit past over here to the tents. Yeah. We're just chilling, right? So we just found some of the beads and stuff, and necklaces and bracelets, and they made out of these little beads. And in the middle of it, I found an octopus, guys. It's an octopus. Ha 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 ha. This is where you're supposed to laugh, right, Nana? Isn't this where the viewers are supposed to laugh? Ha 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 ha. Yep. So here we are. There's Nana and Lid down there waving. So, and here we have higher view from Plymouth Rock. We got another view of the Plymouth Harbor, and that's we were just down at the festival. They got some more buildings up here. We walked up those steps just to get up here. But yeah, pretty cool up here. We have, I came up here to see the better view. And they got this big statue right here. It's huge. Here's another rock. It says something.
Preserver of the Pilgrims.
There it is. And here we have another rock. So you guys can read it. Probably true. Yeah, kind of slowed down if you want to get someone to pause the video and read that. I didn't really say anything, and I kind of like went down the rocks so people could read it if they're watching.
That is of the 104 passengers who died in Plymouth during the first year. Oh my gosh.
Wow. Look at this.
Wow.
Where's the puppy again? Puppy made it up. Puppy came up.
Oh my goodness.
Of the 104 passengers that died in Plymouth during the first year. Man. Wanna count them? That's a lot. Hope you guys can count it all. Go around this way. Some more. About 100 souls came over in this first ship and began this work which God of his goodness hath hitherto blessed. Let his holy name have ye praise. I believe in God, but I don't really go to church, so I don't really know how to say a verse, to be honest. Yeah.
This is the monument, first burying ground in Plymouth of the passenger.
Pilgrims found at various times and near this enclosure, preserved for many years, and the canopy over the rock were returned at the time of the terrace celebration and are deposited within this monument. Dang. It's crazy. So they're probably just right under this grass, guys. Right, Mom? Right under that grass and under the cement while we're walking on. Yeah, this is the view of the harbor from up here. See out there. There's like a little island over there, isn't there, Mom? Or is that just part of the cape?
I'm not sure where that is, hon.
Is that just part of the cape?
I don't know that that's the cape over there. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but
Ask Lynn what that is.
yeah, it's like Lynn's the family member we're staying with. But yeah, this is it. See you guys when we get back down there. Here we have where Plymouth, the replica of the Mayflower normally is, but it's under renovation. I'll be back in 2020. Right now it's being worked on in Mystic, Connecticut, so yeah. But yeah, that's normally where you get on it, where the boardwalk is. That's pretty cool. Another one of these amazing like lobsters that they have all around the Plymouth. They got a bunch of these decorated, so if you spot any other recording, if my recording earlier or not, make sure to come check it out, because it's pretty cool. Yeah, we're about to leave Plymouth, so yep, we just ate lunch, and we time to work a little bit, but yeah, check with you guys in a bit. Here we have, looks like a little mini motorboat. It's for rent. It's like a little pirate ship. It's pretty cool.
Definitely a smell.
It's anchored down, but I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah. Happy birthday, dear Nana. Happy birthday to you.
Yay! Make a wish. Make a wish. Want to see? Come help me. Come help.
Come on, Colin.
Blow him out. Come on.
Come help Aunt Sharon.
Come on.
Birthday.
Birthday.
Yay.
Thank you. Oh, yay. Birthday to you.
Yay. Everyone, the part of the trip at Lid's house, our family, with family, is pretty much done. Tomorrow morning we'll be heading out to the city of Boston. So yeah, that's my phone in the background. I still have the March Madness theme song. But yeah, we'll be heading back to Boston, the city, to be able to go to My Sports Broadcasting camp up there, and maybe I'll have some footage of the people there. I don't know, but we'll do some stuff afterwards. Like we'll probably go up to Endicott. We'll probably see Fenway Park. That camp. That's definitely what I'm filming. But yeah, don't click off the video yet because there'll be more stuff to come over the next few days. But you know, it's all one video. But yeah, we'll see. So make sure to stick around.
What's your question?
Before the picture, I was gonna ask you because you never got to me. You said I'm from Atlanta, and I was asking because specifically, how do you like playing against Spud Webb, Doc Rivers, and Dominique?
Oh, I loved it because we used to beat them all the time. What are you doing like this for? We used to beat them all the time.
Because Atlanta's won 3 championships in the last.
Atlanta's, well, that's not my fault because
You sound spoiled with championships.
yeah, but I can't help that. What do you want me to do? Atlanta had, oh, wait a minute, Atlanta was up 28-3.
Uh-oh, there it is.
Oh, no.
There it is.
Whose fault was that?
As I said earlier, I'm an Atlanta fan, so you know that the media, we play the Falcons week 7, you know the media is going to be like, oh, what if the Falcons pull off the upset and they have the Super Bowl rematch? How are you guys, as the players, going to be able to come back and say, okay, we took that Super Bowl from them last year, knowing that you guys that you met already, how are they going to be able to say, we got the Super Bowl, we're going to beat them again?
Us? Say that we're going to beat them again? I mean, at the end of the day, you don't know that for sure. You got to go out there and be confident in your preparation. And at the end of the day, you always got to have the mindset you're going to beat the team. But at the end of the day, you got to be realistic. And they put in the same work as you. So you just got to go out there and try to do your job and beat them.
Thank you. I can tell my connection's had a good. Hey everyone, joining you from the streets of Boston on Brookline Street, right, Mom? Is that the name of it, Brookline?
Brookline Avenue.
Brookline Avenue. Fenway Park is actually right down the street. See the green building? Oh, great. Just stepped in a puddle. My bad. Everybody know that. As we are headed to the Food Network show restaurant, which is right down the street, called Wahlburgers, for dinner. I'm excited. Never been to it before, and Dodger Films on YouTube, when he went to the Boston Red Sox game last year on his YouTube channel, liked it. So I hope I will too. So I'll catch you guys in it and when we're in there. But yeah, I forgot to mention this morning that we came from my family's house back into this city of Boston, so I can get on my sports broadcasting camp this week. And I met Celtics legend Cedric Maxwell, and I think he was a jerk. Anyway, sorry. See you guys when we get in there. So dinner just came at Wahlburgers. I got a strawberry frappe, which is like strawberry milkshake, for dinner and to drink. And I also got some kids mac and cheeseburger. Well, I got mac and cheese with the burger, and I put it on so if anybody sees. It's good, so we'll see you after that. And what'd you get, Mom?
I got a sloppy Joe, and it comes with crispy onion rings. Looks good. Cheese sauce. And then there's all the Wahlburger stuff you can buy. T-shirts, hats, sweatshirts.
Yep. So I'll see you guys after dinner. This seems good, so we'll tell you how Wahlburger is. I'm excited. Guys, look at these hats. We've got to check out this shop in the north end of Boston.
Howdy. Howdy.
So they have.
Thank you.
Oh, there's my Wicked Smart shirt.
Thank you. I was thinking about getting one for Sydney, but I don't want a
Hey, Mom.
T-shirt.
Hey, Mom.
We also have a V-neck
Yeah.
picture
You do?
Yeah.
That's what I'd like to see.
right over here.
Yeah, so tonight we're in the north end. Right.
Right.
And we're near Paul
The
Revere.
Italian area of Boston.
we're-
This used to be.
And we're near.
Sacred Heart Italian Church.
Yep, that's that.
And we believe that Paul Revere's house is around here somewhere too. Here's a Mariner's house.
Yep.
On that road, there was it said to take a right. Is that what it said? Or take a left? First right and then take first left. But so it should be down in here. I would think. Yeah.
Yeah, here we were just right up there, and I cut off the camera, and here's the Paul Revere house, right here. This is Rachel Revere Square. But yeah, if you don't believe me, there's a sign that says
Don't stay on something more.
Paul Revere house. That's what this house looked like. It's got old windows, old leaded glass. There's a chimney that's like right next to the building next to it. Go across the street here for a second. You can pretty much imagine the horses on this cobblestone road going.
This is the last remaining structure from the 17th century Boston. Paul Revere owned the home 1770 to 1800, leaving from here for his midnight ride on April 18th, 1775.
You heard it there. Got a picture of it. Here's the Hitchborn house as well.
Whoever that was.
I'm guessing we're coming up on that.
No, it's probably gone. I think his is the last one they just said.
Yep. Yeah, there it is. Let's see what's back here. Are you able to go back here or no?
No.
No?
No, I think that's a tour in there.
Oh, okay. Well, no tours for us. We'll see you guys in just a second. So we found a small door at the back of a building exactly what my nana said. And if you don't believe me, I mean, look at this. It's probably from, I mean, here's my height. So this is my head up here. I'm pointing at the edge of my head. So this is my height. It goes all the way down. It's like really short. And right here we're at the Old North Church S floor. That was one by land, two by sea. You can see it up. I don't know if you can see the stern up there, but yeah. This is where Paul Revere came, and this is where I guess the trail was. They made it as best as they could. And it also connects around other sides of Boston. It goes all the way back there. There's a Paul Revere statue, water fountains and stuff like that. And here are some older buildings. Looks like from all the way from back in that time or close to it. Captain Jackson's
Printing shop.
Yep, painting office. Printing office, but I said painting shop, painting office at first. Pretty cool. A lot of older buildings here.
You did not.
You what? You said that
Where
same.
did you see her? Here or down by the? Really? Wow. No kidding.
She probably takes an Uber to a different spot.
She's an overachiever? I did.
She had the same clothes on?
Yeah, that's how I knew this.
When I'll walk back to the other side with the Paul Revere statue so I can show people the front view of that. So here we have Paul Revere and his statue. And that's the church way back there where it was one by land, two by sea. Pretty cool because I'm in the old part of Boston tonight. I only saw his house already, but yeah, pretty cool. This is Paul Revere. We walked from up there. You're fine. You're fine. Here's the steeple. And here's the horse where he rode on. And here's the trail right here. They tried to mark it as best as they could, but it's all the way up back there. It leads, you know, watch out for the puddle lake. It goes all the way across the street and down the line. But yeah, pretty old. Pretty cool. Right, Mom?
Yep, they'll show some other parts of the Freedom Trail probably tomorrow or Thursday.
Yep. So now we have St. Leonard, oh sorry, this one's on mine. St. Leonard Roman Catholic Church, founded in 1873 by the first Catholic church built by Italian immigrants, and you can see right here. Very cool.
Go straight down here.
Very cool. I don't really have any words. Pretty cool though. I could actually come in here for a second. My mom and Nana are waiting for me. Let's see what they have. Very cool. Yeah. This is very awesome. It's being renovated right there. Yeah, I like it. Old Boston, folks. Very cool.
So there was this drink for cheap fancy here at Hansa in Old Boston. So I went down to 7-Eleven down the street and got cotton candy slushies. LOL. Ha ha ha.
Anytime anybody anywhere has ever seen my act, they always come away with the same exact question. Why did that guy go into show business? I explained to them I had no choice. I come from a long and proud line of nautical entertainers. You see, my first ancestor in this country was the lounge comedian on the Mayflower. True story. Now, the Pilgrims on the Mayflower, they liked a lot of things. As it turns out, stand-up comedy, not one of those things. Tough room, the Mayflower. My poor uncle, he starts doing his act. The Pilgrims hated him. They started throwing fruit at the man. Well, he kept performing, they kept throwing fruit. Finally, they ran out of fruit. I guess the joke was on them when they all got scurvy. Too soon? Too soon? I can never tell. It's 1600. Now, personally, I don't think that my uncle's jokes were that bad. What we're going to do is an historic reenactment on this duck. I'm going to pretend to be my uncle. You guys will be Pilgrims. And when I tell jokes, we'll pretend that this duck is the Mayflower. Atlanta, Georgia. Very nice. Welcome from Atlanta.
We blew the Super Bowl, sorry.
Say again?
Sorry we gave you guys the Super Bowl.
All right, by now, if you haven't told me where you're from, I'll just assume you're in the witness protection program. That's fine. I'll give you the tour. What do I care? But look at him with his trumpet. What a show off. That's awesome. There's a statue of John Singleton Copley over here. Copley Square is named for the painter John Singleton Copley. He has a palette and a paintbrush to show that he was a painter. He also wears a ruffled shirt to show that he and I go shopping together, and he looks wicked handsome. Trinity Church, considered to be one of the top 10 finest examples of architecture in the country. It's the only church on the top 10 list of buildings. Henry Hobson Richardson was the architect of this church. 1877 is when it was built. Because of his last name, the style of architecture he created is now known as Richardsonian Romanesque. He traveled all over Europe observing different styles of architecture, and finally he blended several styles to Blackstone, and he asked the permission of the natives to build a cottage on this piece of land, and the natives said yes. So he built a cottage, he lived here, they fished here, everything was great for 5 years, and then the Puritans came to town. Fam. I'll tell you about the Puritans in 1 minute. I want to show you guys some duckling statues coming up on the left of us inside the park, about 30 yards in. See the person with white pants and a camera facing the ground? He's standing next to the duckling statues in the park. Mrs. Ballard in the front, and all the ducklings follow behind. Jack, Cack, Lack, Mack, Knack, Oack, Pack, and Quack. Those are the characters from Make Way for Ducklings, the official children's book of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. I got a copy of that book for my 6th birthday, and I'm almost done with it. If you know the end, please don't tell me. I've been reading for years. Here we go up Beacon Hill, the highest point in the city of Boston. Very fancy neighborhood. Former United States Secretary of State John Kerry has a house up here on Beacon Hill. You know why? Because he's rich. You know who's even more rich? His wife, Teresa Hines, from the Heinz Ketchup family. Now, as a tour guide, I can't tell you which house is theirs, right? However, you see this street on the left, Spruce Street. Go down 2 blocks, make a right. You get to this big, beautiful red brick mansion in the shape of a ketchup bottle. It's number 57. Thank you, everybody. Heinz 57. Just tell them Plucky Ruffles sent you. If you keep knocking on the number 57 long enough, they're supposed to come out slowly. Thank you. On the left of us, the Somerset Club is the oldest private club in Boston. It is so exclusive that one time there were about 30 members of that club seated in the dining room for dinner when a fire started in the kitchen. The fire department arrived. They were greeted at the front door by a guy who said, "Oh, I'm so sorry, gentlemen. Unless you happen to be members of the Somerset Club, I'm afraid you have to use the servants' entrance in the rear of the building." And so the fire department had to take their equipment around the block and enter through the servants' quarters for the privilege of fighting a fire at the Somerset Club on Beacon Hill. 3 floors of firemen were fighting this blaze, and the whole time, the people in the dining room kept eating. They didn't leave, they didn't help, they just sat in there. They made the servants draw the curtains so the smoke didn't ruin their appetite. So, just a slice of life up here on old Beacon Hill, you know? Nice work if you can get it, and you can get it if you've enjoyed generations of wealth and have never had to work. Up here on the left, as you run up the stairs, all you get to is a courtyard. If you cross the courtyard, all you get to is a street. But if you cross the street, there is that Dunkin' Donuts up there. So the movie was right. State Police Headquarters, right up those stairs. Hey, yada, This neighborhood is called the West End neighborhood. Boston has, in the past, had very segregated neighborhoods. This is an Irish neighborhood, see? This is an Italian neighborhood. Yeah, see? Don't cross the street. Yeah. Well, the West End was special because it was a true melting pot. People from all walks of life lived here together. They shared it. They loved it. They even nicknamed it the greatest neighborhood this side of heaven, which made it sad and weird when Boston allowed developers and politicians to team up and shake a bunch of hands and demolish the entire old West End, leaving modern buildings in its wake. On the left is a free museum called the West End Museum. It's a nice place to visit to get a sense of what the area was. In front of us is a gigantic baby. That billboard is on one of the last remaining row houses from the old days. And as we go by, you can appreciate how small these buildings were. This one's only 3 windows wide and 4 stories tall. People still pay rent to live in this private apartment building. Imagine you take up the piano. That's the whole living room right there, right? Ahead of us on the left, the old nickname carved in stone, the greatest neighborhood this side of heaven. And as we go under the highway here, the supports are meant to look like the old row houses from the old days. Apparently, this is Boston's way of saying, whoops, sorry dudes, we wrecked your whole neighborhood. Here's a sculpture. This was happening all over the United States. It was called urban renewal, but the West End was really a jewel of the city that was taken away through political incompetence is really the thing. I don't think it was really like, you know, an evil decision. It was a misunderstanding of what the people of the city of Boston wanted. And the public backlash from the West End reconstruction was so great that now other neighborhoods have been preserved in this city. There is nothing wrong with progress, but not at the expense of your past. And they overdid it with the West End and Scully Square. And so they had to really dial it back and have an eye toward culture and preserving history in the future. Now on the right of us, this is the end of the Charles River. You can see a state police boat down there. Everybody look busy. The river ends just behind us in the ocean. About 500 yards behind us, there's a lock in the dam, and then it begins Boston Harbor and the rest of the Atlantic. The river starts in Hopkinton, Massachusetts, which is where the Boston Marathon begins. If you run on land from Hopkinton to Boston on the marathon route, it's 26.2 miles. If you get in a boat and go on the river, it is 80 miles. That is how windy the Charles River is. It goes back and forth, finally ending in the harbor. Now above our heads we have train tracks. The official name of the transit system, you can hear the trains above our head, is Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority. I guess people felt that was too long, so they said, all right, how about MBTA? I guess people felt that was too long, so they're like, all right, how about helmet? We call this Darwinism. Above our heads we have life jackets, big ones for adults and small ones for kids. Above my head is a life ring. There's another life ring on the back of the duck on the outside. That's what I give to the Atlanta fan when we get to the river. Start stretching, kid, you're going over. Next to me is a fire extinguisher. There's another one at the back of the duck under the seats. We've got a radio up here that speaks to other ducks and a radio that speaks to other boats and the police and the Coast Guard if necessary. Now, in the unlikely event that all of our safety measures fail, and we need to actually put on life vests and leave this duck in the river, you will know, because I will be crying and swimming away from you guys, that's for sure. But our exits are the side windows. If they're open, you can jump right out. If they're closed, push on them, they're Velcro. And also this windshield in front of us folds all the way down to become its own safety exit, as Captain Sean will demonstrate. On the left of us is a train. It's not that exciting, but we're stuck here, so just calling it out like I say it. This is the part of Boston where we like to bring people to rob them. There's no one here to help you, so everybody's give us your lunch money and your wicked smartphones. So what's going on here is that we are most likely waiting for some ducks coming out of the water. We share the same ramp, going in and coming out. Coming out of the river is harder than going in, and so they have the right of way. It's a more difficult maneuver, and so we always yield to them at the top of the ramp here. So, I guess I'll tell you about this duck. Olga, turn off the headlights, turn on the navigation lights. We're going to beep the horn as we go in after we engage the propeller. I don't know how they do that. Our duck never floats. This is crazy. Look at them showing off in there. Is this anybody's first duck tour? Is it? What a coincidence. His too. Good luck, buddy. we floating? We can't be. How are we? It's a truck. This is crazy. This is crazy. We're floating, you guys. Amazing. The propeller is going to start pushing us through the river. And the rudder is now what is steering us. So Captain Sean's going to take us around this bend. Everybody look to the left. You can see what a good time we're having. Whee! And just like this, folks, we are now a boat in the Charles River. Guys, let's have a hand for Captain Sean. Wicked smooth, dude. On the left of us, you can see this red brick building on the shoreline. This place is pretty amazing. They've got everything you could ever want. Indoor and outdoor workout facilities, a huge kitchen and a staff that cooks, a huge laundry room and a staff that does the laundry, 24-hour doorman security, bars in every guest room, and free rent. Ladies and gentlemen, the Suffolk County Jail. Yeah. It looks great from the outside. On the inside, I am told, it looks just like any other jail. I'll take their word for it. I got enough problems in my life. I don't need to go in there dressed like this looking for a tour. So I get much more than I'm looking for, you know what I mean? Talk about a tough room. On the left is a pink duck with polka dots on it. That is Dorchester Dottie. Named for Dorchester, Massachusetts. The nickname of Dorchester is Dot, and that's where all those dots come from. Also to the left, you can see all those geese in the river. Those are called Canada geese. Canada geese are pretty special. Most geese in this country say honk. Canada geese say honk, eh? They're great at hockey. Some of them speak French. Not all of them, just a small group of them, but they're so proud of it. The other geese don't care. It's all big. Don't get involved. If you look at the water of the Charles, you have any ideas, and they open up the newspaper, and there, all the way... Smile for that camera back there. Let's pretend we're having fun. Here, lean toward me and wave toward them. Did you get it?
I got it.
Nice. All right, keep us going this way, Blake. Let's see. In Cambridge, there's a red brick building on the shoreline there, and you can see the skylights coming down at like a 45-degree angle immediately on our left. Turn left a little bit, Blake. Hold it like that. Just as we keep going further downriver here, keep looking over that direction, and you're going to see a woman, a statue of a woman appearing on the roof of that building. Turn right now, Blake. It's the goddess, Athena. She represents knowledge and learning. And she was put on top of the building when it was the Ginn Publishing Company in Cambridge. It's hard to see what I'm talking about now, but keep your eye toward those skylights. And in a moment, all of the background noise is going to get out of the way, and you're going to see the silhouette of this beautiful statue holding a spear, wearing a helmet, the goddess Athena. That building used to be Ginn Publishing, G-I-N-N, Ginn. They made textbooks for students. Some people might have studied with Ginn textbooks in school. There she is now. So they wanted the symbol of knowledge on the roof. They put Athena up there. Well, they made the statue out of terracotta, like a flower pot. Turn left a little bit. Good. In New England, that's crazy. We've got wild weather. This thing would get water in it and then freeze and crack and freeze and crack. And they fixed it again and again and again. Turn right, Blake. Eventually, Ginn Publishing went out of business, probably for fixing the dumb statue all the time. When the new business moved in, they wanted to keep the tradition, but not all the hassles. And so they changed the terracotta to fiberglass and painted the fiberglass gold. So from the river, it looks majestic. Up close, it looks like a mini golf obstacle. You can knock on the thing. It's totally hollow. So, Blake, is this your first time to Boston? Nice, nice. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Have you driven a boat before? You have? Okay, good. I noticed you had a steady hand up here. So you know the main rules. I always like to get into the rules of boating. Do not crash and do not sink. That's about it. No wonder they only charge $1 to teach people that. That's not hard. But now you can drive any boat in the world. You know what I mean? Keep us going this way, Blake. Turn a little left. Hold it like that. Anyone else want to turn driving the duck who hasn't had a chance yet? Everybody happy? I mean, that's a bigger question. Is anyone ever truly happy? That's an existentialist question, I suppose. Anyway, all right, Blake, let's give Blake a great big hand. Give me 5, Blake. Really? Blake's going to Fenway on Friday for a broadcasting camp? Awesome. Well, that's going to be fun. Very nice. Well, that's going to be a very good time. I'm jealous. I wish I had made good life choices as a youngster. Otherwise, I'm 42. It was the 4th year of the war. D is the 4th letter of our alphabet. And so every GM product in that year started with D. Had this thing been designed in 1943, it would have been an E-U-K-W, or an E-Yuck. Had it been designed in 1944, we would not be doing family tours. Hey, thanks everybody. So D is 42. U means utility vehicle. K means front wheel drive. If you picture a letter K, there is an arrow that points forward toward the front of the word. That is front wheel drive. And the letter W is only a picture of the twin rear axles in the back of the truck. That's it. D, U, K, and W. Once you know all that, it is boring and too long to say all the time, so the soldiers called them ducks. That's what we call them even now. There were over 21,000 ducks built by General Motors in the 1940s. With all the men all fighting in the war, who built the ducks? Women. Rosie the Riveter built the ducks. We can do it. Some people say that is why the originals are still floating even today. They were built right the first time, so good job, ladies. Here are the Canada Geese, once again on the right of us. So we are approaching the ramp again. So our job is to stay out of the way of ocean-bound boats. There's only one over there right now. It's a motorboat waiting for the drawbridge to raise. And there's a duck that is coming down the ramp. You can just see the roof at an angle. You can hear the horn they're sounding to let us know they're there. And so in the meantime, the captain has gotten this thing ready to leave the water by putting it into all-wheel drive. Now, we use the gas pedal instead of the boat throttle. The propeller in the back is pushing and the rudder in the back is steering like a normal boat. Now, what this motorboat is waiting for is the opening of the drawbridge, and what the drawbridge is waiting for is the Amtrak and commuter rail trains that go in and out of North Station. So, when you are trying to go from the ocean up into the river or vice versa, you have to time your trip with the train station, and there's all this communication on the marine radio. On the left of us, that is Frog Pond Lily. Let's quack at that duck. Hey-oh! Very nice. The guy giving that tour is the leader of a motor scooter gang. His name is Hardley Davidson. Hardley outside. Hey everybody! What side of a duck has the most feathers? 1, 2, 3.
The outside!
Thank you, Garibaldi. He's the only guy that likes that. Nice work. Ladies and gentlemen, give yourselves a round of applause. We just stormed the beach of East Cambridge, Massachusetts, thanks to the expert driving of Captain Sean. Ahead of us on the right, we're going to see this factory called Boston Sand and Gravel. This thing does not look like much, but they made concrete, and they made 1/3 of the concrete for the Central Artery Tunnel Project, better known as the Big Dig Project.
Yeah.
We got bumps all over the place here. We're going to go over another one in a moment. Bear with us. There it is. All right, sorry about the bump. It's not my fault. It's not Sean's fault. It's the asphalt. Hey, zing. Still got it. I know. He's heard this 5 times today. You still laughing? Anyway, speaking of
Boston.
So you'll notice from here, the Bunker Hill Monument looks a lot like the Washington Monument in D.C. It's the same thing. It's an omelette. In Boston, our monument is a little bit shorter because the weather's a little bit colder. Nothing to be done about that, but it works fine. Off to the right, you can see a church steeple called the Old North Church.
I don't see it, Mom.
So, the midnight ride of Paul Revere became a big deal to MIC. If you know that phrase, that is a line from the Longfellow poem about the midnight ride of Paul Revere. On the left of us is the salt water of Boston Harbor. On the right of us, this is the lock and dam system that separates the two bodies of water down. Also to the right, a stadium. You can see the words on the side say TD Garden. If you're from Boston, that R is silent. And so is the T, and so is the D. That is the Garden. That's where the Boston Celtics play basketball. That's where the Boston Bruins play hockey. Currently, both of those teams are playing golf. But as they say, Game of Thrones, winter is coming. Ahead of us on the left, this is the North End neighborhood of Boston. Every major immigrant group coming into Boston has settled in the North End at one point or another. The British, the Irish, the Polish, the Jews, the Italians. This is an Italian neighborhood these days. There are over 100 restaurants in the North End, which is wild. Some of the streets in the North End are so skinny that a chubby dog is to wag his tail up and down if he gets excited about things here. But it's a great place to visit. The best way to see the North End is wander in and let yourself get lost. It's safe in there. It's beautiful. Every vista is a new beauty. It's really, really something to do. On the left, this is where the Big Dig project made a big difference in the town. What used to be cutting through this part of Boston was an elevated highway called the Central Artery. It was the first elevated highway in the country. And it was a very good idea, even though it was super ugly. As early as the 1930s, the traffic of Boston became a problem. And so they started drawing up this like sci-fi idea of an elevated highway on stilts that did not interrupt the surface roads of the town. Well, then World War II happened, and we entered the war, we threw all of our resources at the war, and then we won the war. And then all this money was flooding into the country, and all these babies were born, and all these cars were produced. And the biggest thing was the concept of the suburb started to exist. Living in a town and driving into a city and back and forth every day. And so they had to revisit this idea of the elevated highway, but they built it too small. They spent all this time and all this money building this elevated thing, and they realized about 30 years after the fact they had to tear it all down and start again and dig even wider versions of those roads under the city of Boston. So that's how Central Artery Tunnel Project got the nickname Big Dig. It took decades to complete this project. In the end, the original cost was supposed to be $2 billion. By the time we finished paying off all the federal loans from the rest of the country, thank you for your tax dollars, Utah, Georgia, everybody else, $22 billion. But it fixed some of the traffic in Boston and fixed a lot of the Samuel Adams. When I say Sam Adams, what comes to mind? Beer. Sam Adams. Terrible brewer in real life. He went bankrupt twice with a business his father gave him. He didn't care about brewing beer. Sam Adams cared about politics, and I'm bringing up politics because it is such a comfortable topic these days, especially among strangers. And so I just want to talk about former press secretary Sean Spicer for like 45 minutes. I feel like what happened with him... No, I'm just teasing. I'm bringing up politics because of this building on the right of us. This is the old State House. A beautiful time of day to see it. The sun glancing off the roof here. This is was the center of royal British government in Boston. The lion and the unicorn, the symbols of the United Kingdom. The lion is England, the unicorn is Scotland. These are the bloodlines that have formed the royal family for generations. Because it was a government building, there were always 3 gills of tea. And I know that because it says so on the side. There's that black writing there. That started off as the symbol of the Oriental Tea Company. We had a thing in Boston. We were an international seaport, and sailors came to town all the time with money to spend. But often they couldn't read, or they just couldn't read English. So instead of putting words on the sign, we would hang pictures of what we sold outside the shops. That way everybody knew what to buy on the inside. So that is an example of the old days, the pictograph signs in Boston. Here's a big giant cup of coffee outside with Dunkin' Donuts. On the left of us, you can see the King's Chapel burial ground, and just beyond that on the left is the King's Chapel Church, which is the largest and last bell ever made by Paul Revere. Paul Revere was a goldsmith, a coppersmith, a silversmith, a bell maker. He was also an amateur dentist. I don't think there are 2 scarier words you could put together in the English language than amateur and dentist, but he was one of them. And the largest and last bell he ever made is hanging in that church. You can check it out on a tour if you like. On the left now, Omni Parker House Hotel is the oldest continually operating hotel in the country. It's where they invented the Boston cream pie and the Parker House roll. Let's quack in this car. Hey-oh! Very nice. That's my parole officer. I'm going to keep it down. Tremont Temple Baptist Church. This was the first integrated church in the country. It is also the site where Charles Dickens gave his Boston readings of his beautiful new work called A Christmas Carol in the 1800s. He took a boat all the way from England to here, and he gave public readings of his work, Christmas Carol, in Tremont Temple Baptist Church. And needless to say, it was a big hit. We're still enjoying that work today. Coming up on the right of us, we're going to see the grave of Sam Adams. Up here on the right, Sam Adams. On the left is the Beantown Pub. The only place 16 kids. I thought George Washington was the father of this country. Hey, thank you. I got another one. No, I don't have another one. That's enough. It's terrible. So there's the Granary Burial Ground. Also buried in here,
Adam's grave and that
on the right of us, there's a gravestone for a guy named James Otis. He is most famous for his quote, "Taxation without representation is tyranny." He started off as a staunch loyalist to the King of England. But we did not feel that it was fair to be paying taxes into a system that did not allow us a voice in how the taxes were spent. And that's all we wanted, was a voice in the British Parliament. We kept asking them, they kept saying no. And eventually, James Otis turned around, and he was a brilliant orator, and he was such an outspoken supporter of independence that he got himself into a fight in a tavern. And he got whacked over the head so hard by this guy fighting with him that he was never the same since. And he knew that he was not the same. They put him out to pasture on a family farm for convalescence and all of this, and he was not doing well. And he wrote in his journal, the problem with Charlestown is the water supply in the ground was too salty. The Puritans couldn't brew beer. This was a nightmare for them. They loved to brew and drink beer all day, even for breakfast, just like Plucky Ruffles. So the leader of the Puritans was this guy named John Winthrop, and he was suffering in Charlestown with no beer and no water. He looks over here. Here's this one British guy, Blackstone, living it up with all the fresh drinking water. So they had to have a chat. My research indicates that John Winthrop the Puritan sounded just like the actor Christopher Walken. So he walks over to William Blackstone, and he says something like this. Hello, Mr. Blackstone. My name is John Winthrop. I'm a very religious man, but I need beer. Please, Mr. Blackstone, may we share this peninsula with you? And so Blackstone has to reply, I think he sounded just like Don Corleone from The Godfather. So Blackstone thinks it over and he says something like this. Yes. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. It's my William Blackstone impression. It's the best in the city. And so the Puritans moved from Charlestown to Shawmut, and the first thing they do when they get here, they rename Shawmut Boston, because they came from Boston, England. I know I already told you about this. The next thing the Puritans did was they gave William Blackstone a gift of 48 acres of land around his cottage. Blackstone couldn't stand them. They were too strict, they were too cruel, and yeah, they were supposedly religious, but really only as an excuse to do rotten things to people who were not like them. And so Blackstone eventually left, and as his final goodbye to the Puritans, he sold his gift back to them. And so the Puritans figured since they paid for the land altogether, they might as well all get to use the land together. So they set the land aside as a common land on which to graze the cattle. So all these years later, since 1634, that park remains 48 acres of public land for the common good, which is why it's called Boston Common, even to this day. Now this street is Charles Street. We're going to make a left and head into the newer part of the town. All of this to the King and Queen of Spain, informing them of the wonderful news that he found India. Oops. It was just a continent or two off. You know these explorers, they're all men, they don't ask directions. But anyway, it is filled with artwork, murals, statues, all sorts of beautiful things, and it is free to all. That is now, and always has been the motto of the Boston Public Library. So, this is the last red light on the tour. Once it turns green, we're going to go back to the duck stop. So a couple last things as we prepare to part ways. Number one, make sure you have your stuff.
Yankees Red Sox rivalry is real right now.
It is, for sure, for sure. It is, it is.
We're back, everybody. We started.
Warm day. But you make it?
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
My
You really
pleasure.
enjoyed it?
Good, thank you. Glad to hear
My
it.
grandson enjoyed it?
Good. That's the most important thing, in my opinion.
You learned something.
Nice work out there, Blake.
Thank
Good
you.
job. Thanks for coming. Good, thank you.
And so that was the duck tour, Mom. What were your final thoughts on it?
Oh, I love the duck tour. You love the duck tour?
Yep, let's get
It
it
was
in.
great. It was great. The guy was funny, entertaining.
You learn a little bit about it.
Learned something.
You have to look quickly because
So you know what that goes
look,
for?
it's gone, but you have to.
Yeah. Like I missed the.
You don't know what side to sit on. They assign seats, so you're kind of stuck.
Yeah, it's like the only problem is I missed like two important things that I'll tell you that so I'd have it so people will believe me. but I couldn't put. I think I was filming, but I couldn't like get the right. I wasn't putting.
11 hours.
I wasn't looking at the right thing, as I missed part of the Berlin Wall that they had, and they had Bunker Hill Memorial, which I missed both of those on camera, I believe. But the battery is dying, so I'll catch you guys tomorrow, I believe, because it is dying as we speak. So I'm going to charge this fast.
Dave Gosher, radio play-by-play voice of the Boston Bruins, and you're watching the official page of the Atlanta Teen Sports Center.
Good morning, everybody. As this car goes by, and that said it's so cringy what I just said. Walking down the sports broadcast camp this morning. It's about I'd say 4/10 of a mile. It isn't that bad. It takes like 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes. And Mom, what doing?
Walking with you to camp. Back Bay of Boston.
What kind of camp is it?
Sports broadcasting camp.
Is that what I like?
You do.
Am I good at it?
You are.
Thanks. Well, let me turn this camera around, guys. Hold on. I don't have my Falcons jersey on right now because I got the Hawk City, but wish me luck because I don't know how the Patriot fans are going to react. I'm walking in the streets of Boston right now, and yeah, my Falcons hat, and I got my jersey on underneath because of Hawk City. So wish me luck, guys, as this bus comes up. I'll see you guys in just a second because I'll show you. We're at Simmons College, this is where my camp is. So I'm going to show you how close it is to another college, legitimately. So I'll see you guys in just a second. Okay, everyone, so we're right down the street from my thing now. And look, this is Emmanuel College right here. And then here's the crosswalk. Like, so there's Emmanuel College, the end of it. And then you come across this crosswalk, and there's Simmons. That's how close a bunch of colleges are in Massachusetts, in the Boston area. It's crazy. It's like the city of colleges. Isn't that what you called it the other day, Mom? What other colleges are in this? Yeah. What other colleges are in this area?
Boston University.
Yep, BC's up here too, right?
Yep.
Harvard's across the river, but the medical Vanguard is actually right next to our hotel. So, it's weird. But yeah.
And we saw, I want to say Suffolk. There was a school when we were going through downtown Boston. And then I saw the New England School of Law when I was in Boston.
And
when we were on the deck floor.
And you also saw Etiquette with Nana, where my grandmother went to school.
Yeah, that was a bit north of there.
Yeah. So yeah. The only one that's missing is Yale because it's in Connecticut.
We saw Salem College and we stopped in Salem too.
Yeah. Well, it looks like a little smudge on the camera screens. Probably raindrops, so I'll catch you guys in a minute. There's the area. Lobby. This is where I've been going through. This little area. We've also done other places for activities. But yeah, tomorrow we're gonna Fenway. Here. Here we are.
Ethan Nemeth and Ford Gillespie. And our topics for today is Kyrie Irving selfish, Mayweather and McGregor, or should people who use steroids get to go into the Hall of Fame? Guys, what do you think about Kyrie Irving?
He's being a selfish brat. He's won one championship with Cleveland. He's on the best team in the East. There's no one else in the East who can compete with him. I'm a Celtics fan. I still can say that. But he wants a trade. That's the most ridiculous thing. The point of sports is to win championships. And if you don't want to win championships, then be my guest and leave the team.
Well, I don't really think Kyrie's being selfish. I just think he wants a bigger role. He's already helped his team go to 3 straight finals, been a big part of that, probably the second best player on the team, right behind LeBron. And he's already won the championship. He just wants a bigger role. You know, even if
bigger role? He's one of the best point guards in the country. He shoots threes, he dribbles, like one of the best I've ever seen. I don't understand.
Is it really his fault?
McGregor's gonna win. He's 17 years younger, he's faster, and he's McGregor.
Well, Mayweather's just like extremely better. Maybe if this was in McGregor's own turf, in like, you know, MMA or UFC. But this is boxing. That's Mayweather's turf.
Mayweather's 40 years old. McGregor's gonna step inside his guard, punch him once in the face, and then he's gonna be done.
Has he lost yet?
No, but now he's 40 years old.
Yeah, but he's 49-0. This will be his 50th win.
It's not gonna happen.
It will take like 10 minutes maybe.
No, that's not what's gonna happen because Mayweather is gonna want the fight to go longer. because that sells more money and everyone's happier if it fights longer. So he's gonna like not go after him too much. So then when McGregor comes after him, he's not gonna have like any defense.
Mayweather is one of the best defensive boxers of all time. He's, undefeated. How many games has McGregor lost?
Well, he's never boxed before.
Well, but the problem, yes, exactly. He's never boxed before. If you don't box, how are you going to win against one of the best boxers of all time?
He's 17 years younger.
Yeah?
And he's faster.
But he's not better. He's not smarter. He's going to get cocky on him.
That's true, he's pretty cocky.
Anyway, folks, let's move to our third and final topic. Should steroid users be allowed into the Hall of Fame? What do you guys think?
I think they shouldn't. They're using steroids, even if they were a great player without steroids.
So where are we going tonight? Poker face.
Faneuil Hall and Quincy Market.
The reason I said poker face is so when I turn on the camera, you're like, yeah.
You never know.
And is it raining? We'll see. I'm gonna buy a snack, aka for kids, a candy bar. It looks like there's a crowd down here. That's good. Candy bars, candy bars. We're gonna take the subway down there. What are the choices? Pretty good choice. What's this? Choose one? Let's get a candy bar. Hey everyone, as I said, I have to speak up a little bit because we're in the T station, if you don't know, that's the Boston subway. It's kind of like Atlanta's MARTA. And we're waiting on the next sub to come. So we missed the other one, and it's actually coming as we speak. But yeah, we decided not to do Uber. We're going to do T. The subway. Hold on 1 second, guys. We are on Quincy Market near Faneuil Hall. Faneuil Hall is actually that building right there. You can see behind that tree in this light right here. So it's Faneuil Hall. And just went in the All-Star store that had all their teams, including New England Revolution, their MLS team. But it was like 95% dedicated to Celtics, Bruins, Patriots, and Red Sox. And they get a little bit of Bruins in there and a little bit of, looks like some college for the Harvard and Simmons and stuff like that. But yeah, kind of cool. And we're going up into the Quincy Market area. Looks like it's all restaurants, to be honest. Yeah, kind of cool. This is the market, though. I didn't know it'd be all restaurants. Not all restaurants. Oh, okay. See, that's going inside. Looks like it's more market in here. In Faneuil Hall. So this is Faneuil Hall. That's what they turned it into. Oh, that's cool. Candy, of course. Different little shops in here. But like everything else in this area. Well, Mom, I thought we'd see history. It's like always saw the same Adams statue.
Outside, yeah.
I'm thinking, I guess I'm thinking of Philadelphia when they signed the Congress, the Declaration of Independence.
Yep.
Bum, bum, bum. Hey, Mom.
Oh, you can hold that book.
Seriously. Corny stuff in here. They have that one. Mom, we have the one with the lobster. Boston. That one. That one. Dipping it on. Yeah. Or to die. There's that. Revolutionary War thing. Flags. Skulls and stuff. Let's see, what would Dad want? Dad, I'm currently searching for your stuff. If you ever watched this video, this is when I started. I've been searching all week, and I got you something in Plymouth. And I'm also trying to get you something from Boston. So yeah.
Or someone might just put it in their pocket.
Dun dun dun. Yeah, well, this is kind of cool. Look at this. My war.
It's cool, huh?
Yep.
Missionary War?
Yep. Different kind of cars. That's a really cool shot right there. And yeah, this is the Faneuil Hall, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can look at this over here, the information.
Nah, no need for reading. I can do that on Monday, Mom.
Well, it shows you the Freedom Trail.
Oh,
we did that duck tour. We could have done this.
Freedom Trail.
We've seen all that.
Get to it, though. Where's the start?
Well, so down here, Boston Common.
So it is?
And it goes all the way through here. This is where we are up here.
How long was
Goes up through North End, up North, Old North Church, Burying Ground, goes all the way across up to Bunker Hill Monument.
Does it come near our hotel too? Does it? Oh, okay. We're in Fenway Park today. Final day of broadcasting camp. We're going to do stands up here. And we're going to do tours. Hold on, that's what it's called. Here's Fenway Park.
1986. 67 got the win. They took from game 7.
Amazing.
6, they were one strike away
No, Buck, you want to go through. No wonder the Braves always live here. This is a crazy ballpark. Crazy. These seats are tiny, Dad. I have to sit in at least one of them to see what it feels like. Because my dad, if you guys don't know, my dad came to a Red Sox game here a few years ago with his dental meeting, and he did not like it because one of the main reasons is that the seats are so small and tight. So I'm gonna see how tight they are for me because, you know, I'm a kid, so I don't know if I'm grown yet, but if it's tight yet. Well, anyway, see you guys in a minute. Last day at Boston vlog here. Walking up to the Green Monster. Green Monster. Here we go. It's the field. It's beautiful and old at the same time. Now I'm on my camera. Even when I do get on live, I get like 4 viewers at max. I had 460 followers. Other side. Walk up these stairs, guys. I'm on top of the world, hey! I'm on top of the world, hey! Okay, no more singing. You can zoom right in. Home plate, there's nobody back.
You guys like the view from up here?
Yeah.
These have been voted the best seats in baseball.
Chop House will take it over soon, guys.
Stuff, and everybody says it's a great place to sit. And you've got a great advantage up here. You can come up here early if you have a ticket up here, and only if you have a ticket up here. And you can sit here for batting practice. During batting practice, the ball comes up here about every 30 seconds for an hour and a half. If you want to get a souvenir, it's a great place to be, but you have to be careful. Balls, when they get here, go at 95 miles an hour. The best thing to do is duck, unless you have a hat on, or unless you have to be sitting to your little brother. That's what they can do too. But anyway, cool place to be. It's been voted the best in baseball. They've been here since 2003.
Guess what that
Tickets
fence
vary
is.
in price because everybody always asks me. Roughly speaking, if you want to see a game on a Wednesday night in April, it's about $140. If you want to see the Yankees on a Saturday night in August, $600. The price will change up. The prices, they used to be fixed, but now they change depending on who we play. The Cubs were $700 in April. So, pretty amazing to think about. You can also stand along the back for anywhere from about $60 up to about $120. Anyway, great place to be. These were followed in those 4 by Citizen Seats in right field. I'll take you guys over there. You want to do broadcast.
Hey, there's my hotel.
My suites, they go from my right field
I was up there.
all the way over to the Allison Annie side of right field, and then a level up above it. State Street Pavilion, and we'll walk across there in a minute. But I think you want to give me a chance to see what these seats are like and take some pictures before we head up. One more time, too, I'll take some questions before we head up upstairs. So any questions, I'll be happy to answer. Regular duck here. Price per seat, most I've seen is $700. Although I can tell you
16,
that when Bobby
18,
retired last year,
26.
the last game
Nice
they were
American
what, about
League.
1,400 show? Something like that.
Man.
Jeter's last game, they were pretty expensive too, but Jeter's last game was
There's a lot of stuff. Rolling Stones.
And that goes back a long, long way. So we've had 6 concerts coming this year. We've already had 3. As we walk along a little further now.
315 days a year, there's something going on at Fenway, he said. Hey, Connor.
Oh, I blame. Before that, it was just some very rooftop spaces, honestly, really ugly. Below it is all of our front offices, so it wasn't really doing much. And so John Henry, he's our principal owner. His wife Linda had this idea. She does a lot with urban farming and green spaces in Boston, and so we did put it in at that point. What we do is we grow produce that we harvest and farm throughout the ballpark.
the stuff
Every
they
year,
grow.
we have harvested over 5,000 pounds of produce. This year they got organic a little bit. They want to get it.
What's the Boston skyline?
One belongs to Bobby Dorn. I say belongs because he's 99 years old. He's the oldest living member of the National Hall of Fame. And his rookie year was 1937. 80 years ago, he was down there playing second base for the Red Sox. 8's Carl Yastrzemski, 27's Carlton Fisk,
awesome.
6 Johnny Pesky, 14 Jim Rice, 45 Pedro Martinez, 26 Wade Boggs, number 34 is the newest number up there about a month ago. Big Poppy, and 42 of course is Jackie Robinson's number. You know that he broke the color barrier April 15, 1947. That's a Brooklyn Dodger, blue 42, and that number's up at every ballpark in the country. Can never be worn again. Mariano Rivera got the grandfathered in from 95 on, but he took it off in 2013 when he retired. Every year though, on April 15th, every player on every team wears the number 42 as a tribute to Jackie Robinson. Little trivia about that. That tradition started in 1999 with Ken Griffey Jr. Out in Seattle, he was wearing number 24 as his tribute. That's the reverse of 42. He asked baseball if he could turn it around on April 15th. They said, sure, let's see if anybody else wants to do it. And when they asked everybody in the major leagues, every player on every team voted to wear 42, and they still do to this day. Every year on April 15th, everybody's number is 42. The only people that don't like that are the announcers, by the way. It's a little bit tough to broadcast. So next to us is a press box, and we don't have the press box to sit in because it's a game day, but we do have the press box to walk through. So if you follow me through.
Every day. Oh my god, food court.
I'm filming this.
Would you like to take a picture of control room equipment number 2?
Sure.
What about control room number 1?
Sure. Put that in there too.
What about a giant magazine?
Visiting radio.
How about booth F?
That's what the visiting
Visiting radio.
This is the booth that I called the game from earlier this year.
Visiting radio booths in here. And sorry, ESPN, I can't look at you right now.
That's where Kansas City Radio.
Visiting television.
Yeah, but
And it's blocked. Can't even see it now.
quiet, please. Says WEDI.
Why do you know? I'm not that rush.
They're on air. Scott.
Lessons in there.
Let's do the clap. I feel hungry.
Spanish radio for Boston. First box.
At least we know that if we
On Boston Herald.
at least we know that if we fall behind them in net. Way too Wow. That's great. Royals PR. I ain't no Royals PR.
I'm the Boston Herald.
That's it, guys. We're walking through, coming out the other end.
I'm just taking a picture. Boston skyline again. That wasn't right.
Adam, why the heck would you do that?
I said I saw Nessen's rich.
It's Nissen.
Today, MLB.com, Nessen.
WEI, Sports Exchange, Man Glass,
Series.
I mean the Red Sox. I was thinking of the Red Sox.
And here's a random vending machine.
I'm off by 50 cents. I'm off by. I've got $5 bills.
Well, you can put in $1 and get.
2 quarters. Well, I ain't finding something here.
You know that you think they have 1912 candy bars in here? Seriously?
What?
You think they really have 1912 candy bars in here?
I would be.
Stay to your right.
I'd find that
Stay to your right,
crazy if
because
they
we got
did.
your other half of your groups coming in on your left.
So you think there's 1912 candy bars in here? Seriously?
No, I don't. I don't. Yeah, that's right. Blue Jays. Hi, Spencer. Hi, Gabe.
Voice.
Yeah, WES on there.
That comeback.
Hey, Scott.
That was the press box.
Scoreboards behind the bleachers. We have a fourth one on right field we can't see from right now. But if you look in the bleachers under the fourth sign, you guys in front of your right, quick pass a little bit. You'll see one red seat out there. You guys all see the red seat in the bleachers? Right field bleachers under the fourth sign. That marks the landing place of the longest home run ever hit inside Fenway. We're going to look it down on it in a couple of minutes, but I'll tell you a little bit about it. From home plate to that seat is 502 feet. Ted Williams hit the ball there on June 9, 1946, and we know where it landed because there was a fan sleeping there that day. He had a big straw hat on. He never saw the ball. It went through the straw hat and bounced off his head and ended up 6 rows behind him. Kind of a pretty good bump on the head, kind of a visit from a reporter. When the reporter got to him, he said,
Okay, national anthem time. Braves. Home of the Braves. no, funny? Okay.
Now guys, a little bit of history. We all know the Star-Spangled Banners before every game.
Home of the Braves.
That starts in 1918.
So I stopped recording after the national anthem for a second, but basically they told me the story. They told all of us the story of the national anthem and why it starts before every sporting event is because in 1918 they said in Game 2 of the World Series in the middle of the 7th inning, aka the 7th inning stretch, they played the national anthem because it was in the middle of World War I. And they came back to Boston for Game 3. It was the Cubs versus Red Sox World Series 1918. And they came back for Game 3 and sung it before the game. And ever since then, they've sung the national anthem before every sporting event. So see, I got my Braves stuff on the day at my park. Yeah. Check with you guys in a second. Almost stand-up time. Blake Newsom reporting live from Fenway Park here in Boston today for the matchup between the Kansas City Royals and the first place Boston Red Sox. But there has been breaking news. David Price, who is supposed to be coming back home for his first start since the controversy, has been placed on the DL. Mike Fisher will be starting in his place tonight. But the AL East race is really heating up. The Yankees are only a half a game behind and the Rays are only 3. So make sure to turn into NESN, Fox Sports Florida, and Yes Network to watch all those local teams' coverage because the AL East race is going to be a close fight in the finish. I'm Blake Newsom live from Fenway Park, Atlanta Teen Sports Center.
Through the night with a light from the mountains to the prairies to the oceans, white with home. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home.
More singing. What's next? Well, everyone, Boston has ended. I'm in the plane. Getting ready to head back home to Atlanta. Drive along. And the broadcasting camp was lit. Yeah, so there's my Nana and there's my mom. We're getting ready to fly back home. So yeah. Thanks for tuning in for another vlog. And maybe I'll upload some of the older vlogs that was meant to vlog this summer. That was like early June. But yeah, thank you guys for watching.
I'll always rep for you, Atlanta.
Yeah, yeah.